Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. And we are back with the Urban Healer. For those of you on Zoom, you can see her pillow. It says the Urban Healer on the podcast as well. Excited to have her back. And I'm loving the new custom look of the pillow because she's got a
Thank you.
beautiful background and you like changing things up. What is the Urban Healer? What does that mean? Tell us.
Hello. Okay, so my last name is Urban, and I love all things healing. So the Urban Healer kind of works. Also, I work in downtown Toronto, so it was always like healing in the city. And I was like, okay, well, I guess between me being a nurse, me being a life coach and a Reiki master, I feel like healer kind of hits that spot. So I'm not gonna lie, this didn't come to me easily. This was like months of meditation, playing around with the words, and then it was like the Urban Healer. I was like, duh. So that is the story behind how I got the name.
But as a nurse, you have been a healer. As a Reiki master, you've been a healer. There's a lot on a resume. And if you don't mind just telling us a little bit more about yourself.
Absolutely. So, been nursing for a decade. I started off with neurosurgery trauma. So, I love all things to do with the brain. That is definitely my favorite thing to talk about, which is what we're going to be diving in a little bit today. And over the years, I just kind of lost my passion for nursing just because you don't get that one on one time with your patients. And I just saw that there was so much more than physical ailments. Like there's obviously emotions involved, there's energies involved, there's a lot of trauma that sometimes gets re-triggered if you're in a traumatic moment of your life. And it's just, I feel like the healthcare system doesn't really know how to hold space for that. And as a nurse, there's no way in heck I have enough time to do that. But then it left me feeling really unfulfilled. So then, due to my own little reasons of going through my healing journey, I discovered Reiki, and then I slowly got certified in it, not planning to start a business. I was just like, it's this cute thing I do on the side so I can make some
Yeah.
extra money and I can travel and awesome. And then slowly that turned into my business. Since then, like I have also become a life coach, so I really like to specialize in helping women working through some of their past traumas and stepping into a life they love. But it's nice because I get to merge the sciencey, nerdy, like actual logistics with the more woo spiritual energy and like all that stuff all into one.
Perfect. And today we're going to talk about emotions. Talk about emotions. We all have them. Some people they say they're emotional, but what are they exactly?
Yes. Well, I feel like we're not really taught what emotions are. Because, like, if you were to be like, what is an emotion? You're just like, I don't know. Like, sometimes I'm sad, sometimes I'm angry, sometimes I'm happy. I don't know.
Yeah.
So they're actually, and that's the thing. It's like you're not really taught that. Like, I don't think I was even really taught that in like nursing school. It's like, no, you diagnose and you treat and you don't deal with the emotional stuff. Here's an Ativan. And I'm just like, no, but it's important. So emotions are mental states that are brought on by physiological changes that can be a result of either behavior responses, certain thoughts, feelings that you're having, and it can either be really good or really bad or neutral. But at the end of the day, a emotion has to do with a neurophysiological response. So if you are angry, there's going to be certain hormones released in your body and your brain is going to act in a certain way because of the neurotransmitters being released and the pathway being activated. When you're happy, there's a different one. So it's an actual response. So sometimes when people are like, oh my God, you're so emotional. Well, chances are you didn't just get emotional overnight. Maybe you've been ignored and you've been downplaying it and it suddenly exploded. Or I guess I should say, and it's normal. Like it is. Everyone has emotions and we need to know how to, I guess, label them and be with them as opposed to ignore them, numb them, and run away from them. So that is the
Wow.
first thing that I want to say.
Okay. Well, you got to get me in touch. Not everyone is in touch with their emotions, though, as well, right? We got to do
Yeah.
that. And once you do get in touch, I mean, isn't there like vibrational things that happen with certain emotions? Could you talk about that?
Yeah. Absolutely. So this was actually, I didn't know this for a long time. And then when I heard it, it like totally like surprised me. Emotions are actually energy in motion. And that is how the name emotion comes. And it's just actually wild to me because like literally every single emotion has a different frequency that it vibrates on. And then really, if you want to think about it that way, it's like your emotion is just an experience of the energy moving through your physical body, which you're going to feel. But then it's like, of course, having a burst of joy feels a lot better than having a burst of grief and anger, but it's
True.
still just an energy that's moving through you. And then this is obviously going to create a certain physical sensation, which is either going to make you feel super expansive, happy, joyful, or it's going to like pull you in because you just had like something
Got it.
negative happen. But
Hmm.
again, it's like your body's responding. Like if someone gave you a hug, it feels better than if someone kicked you in the shin,
True.
obviously.
Clearly.
And that's
Yeah.
all it is. It's like,
Okay.
okay, well, if you're feeling anger, not that anger is bad, but it's just a
But
different type of vibration. And also, if you're never taught that you're allowed to be angry, sit in your anger and release it, as opposed to be a good girl and just be quiet and go carry on,
hmm
that's something that we don't know what to do. So when those bigger quotations, darker quotation emotions come up, sometimes we weren't even taught how to process them and be with them as a child. So how the heck are you going to know what to do when you're an adult and it's like they're so much bigger and you just don't have those skills? So I do just want to remind people that with emotions, they're just vibrations moving through your body, and they're always based on what kind of thought you just had, what kind of situation just happened. Like it's always based on something. So again, it's like you have anger, you are not angry because you yourself cannot be angry. You are you. And again,
got it.
something that people don't sometimes think about. So when you are vibrating higher, you have more life force energy. So prana, chi, the good stuff moving through you, more vitality. And there's like an expansion, joy, peace, happiness. But then the lower vibrations are going to have vital life force energy moving through you. So less chi. And it's not going to feel as good. So you're going to feel more contracted. And again, it just is what it is. It's not a good or bad per se, but you have to look at it from a different angle.
All right, we could do that. So higher vibrational thoughts. What is happiness? Is that super high vibration?
Yes. No, so it's I was going to get into this after, but I'll tell you now. So if you look at joy, it vibrates at a 540.
Wow.
But then it's like, let's say the lowest one is usually shame, and then that is at a 20.
Oh
So
my
the
goodness.
highest you can get is 1,000.
Sorry to jump the
And
gun. I was just okay.
no,
I'm
it's
sorry, sorry,
okay.
sorry,
I want,
sorry.
oh my God, never be sorry. I love talking about this in any shape or form. So if you have like enlightenment and like that complete open conscious mind and you're just in this absolute blissful state, that's like 700 to 1,000. But then having joy is 540, and that's something that you do obviously want to move towards. And again, it's not good or bad, but then you have
hmm
to program yourself to have more joyful thoughts, more joyful opportunities, and appreciate it and hold on to it compared to kind of lingering with the lower vibrational emotions.
Okay. Well, how does vibrational frequencies and these emotions relate to the human experience?
Yes. So everything's made of energy. And I feel like this is
hmm
something I've just talked about over and over and over again. But even your thoughts and your beliefs. So even if you're not aware you're having a certain thought, it still carries an energetic charge that then moves through your body. And it's
Okay.
like you could be like putting on a smiling face and going on through your day, but then inside you're like, I'm not good enough. I hate my life. This is stupid. I can't believe I did this. You're such a failure. And you're just like going through that. So even though outside you're
Mhm.
pretending to look okay, on the inside energetically you're at a super low
Yep.
vibration and you're not going to be able to align with joy because your thoughts are going to be bringing your vibration lower. And it's just like the way you want to think about it is essentially every thought and every emotion has its own wave frequency. And this
Mm-hmm.
has to do with like quantum physics, which I'm not going to get too deep into because I'm like basic knowledge. But essentially, they're just waves. And the good thing is when you have these waves, the waves can be altered. So let's say you're having a low frequency wave, but you have a high frequency wave. If the two meet, they actually cancel each other out and you just have neutrality, which, to be honest, for a lot of people, being neutral is a massive step up from being at a lower frequency. And that's actually like, I love when my clients are like, hey, I feel kind of neutral and like, I don't have a lot of thoughts. And that's really weird. And I was like, perfect, we're moving up. Being
Mm-hmm.
neutral is kind of in between the lower vibrations and the upper vibration. It's like you're resetting your body.
Yep.
So then the good thing is that you can always cancel out your emotions with something else by changing your thoughts or allowing the energy to go somewhere. So
Got
again,
it.
this is something I feel like I've talked about so many times of just like move your body, like hit a pillow, scream, go for like a run, splash cold water in your face. It's like resetting the emotion and the energy or allowing it to actually move out. So if you want to feel a certain way energetically, you do need to stand behind it. So if you want, for example, to be in a relationship and you're like, I want to be with somebody, I want to find a partner, I want to get married, it's so important to me.
Yeah.
But then your beliefs and your thoughts are like, I can't trust men. This is hard. Maybe I waited too long. I don't want to get out there. It's too scary. I'm not doing it. Hello, disconnect.
Yeah.
You're not going to align to that. So it's like, and I'm not going from like, oh, you just had a super like traumatic event with a past person. And then all of a sudden you're jumping in into like love and joy, everything's great. You got to process that and make peace with it. But your past does not determine your future, and every person's a new person, and you do need to give them that benefit of doubt. So then check in. What are your thoughts? What are your beliefs? And there's a lot of core beliefs that people don't even know they have, but it like straight up just cock blocks them for life because they're like, well, I want to get successful. I want to make more money. Money's evil. Money's scary. The more money I have, the more things are going to go wrong. Well, then you're going to energetically not allow money to come to you because you're scared of it. So you have to make peace with money and then allow it to flow into your life and then raise your vibration that way. So there's always like that little in between. And like, I feel like
that gray area. Yeah.
exactly. And it's just like there's this misconception of like stand in front of a mirror and state affirmations until you're blue in the face and everything just happens. I'm like, oh no, you still gotta do the inner work. I'm so sorry. Like affirmations work when you believe in them, but then that means you have to rewire your mind, which is how like things like hypnosis, NLP, and Reiki come in. And like some people are faster, some people are slower at this, and no judgment. But it's like usually don't just choose a cute affirmation and get your result the next day. So real talk.
Real talk. All right, got it. Now, also, so we're talking about, the word stress, for example, right? Can we
Mhm.
like, how does that relate? What is, if we can go into counteracting and changing your thoughts in a sense with emotional patterns and
Absolutely.
behaviors?
Absolutely. So for one, I don't think it's possible for you to not have stress slash having stress in your life is good and normal, and your body's equipped to deal with that. What's not okay is if everything stresses you out and you're in a constant state of high stress, even when you're just sitting there and nothing's going wrong. And also you having a response of like your boss sending you a message being like, this Excel sheet needs to be done. You having a stressful response like something's chasing you and it's going to kill you is not the appropriate response. So then learning how to manage your stress so you don't have those big spikes.
Okay.
But then if you think of the word stress and maybe think of a couple of things that are stressing you out, you immediately are going to start clenching, your heart might start moving a little quicker, your stomach might be a little uneasy, you might like kind of hunch in, and it's like low vibration. But then if you take a moment and think of a beautiful beach, you're on a vacation, like everything's taken care of, you have a babysitter, you have a drink on board, chilling, there's nothing to do on your to-do list, you are in paradise and everything's taken care of. You're like, I'm relaxed, this feels really good. So then when you just went from stress to relax and just even thinking about it and things that make you feel that way, at the end, you're going to feel neutral because you just had kind of like a low vibration of the stress. And then you had a higher vibration from the relaxation, the getaway. It's good and nice. And then together they kind of just balanced each other out. So then in real life, this is something that you can do. And if you're having a big emotion, one, have your big emotion. You can't just pretend it's not there because it's going to be the elephant in the room that follows you into every room. Deal with the emotion. If you're sad, be sad. If you're angry, be angry. Process it. Then have daily practices to allow you to check in with yourself so you don't go 3-4 years without actually asking yourself how you're doing and you realize you're miserable. But
Okay.
then when you do that, counteract it. So, okay, I'm having a bad day. I'm super stressed. I'm doing a lot. And it's just like, I feel really overwhelmed. But then it's like, what is working? What is okay? I have my dog here. She's great. I love my home. I have a great pillow that you love. So this is making me happy. I'm in front of you. I really enjoy doing this. And this is making me feel good. So what are the good things? I'm okay. And if I take 10 minutes to process and just chill, that's okay. If I take a 30-minute walk, it's okay. Nothing's going to go poorly in my life. And then I can go back to what I'm doing in a more calm state. So it's one of those things where you have to almost catch yourself in your spiral and you have to catch yourself in that low mood, process it. You can't just bypass it and pretend it didn't happen, but then go over to something better. And that's something that I always tell my clients, and I do myself all the time, is choose another way. So what feels good? What does work? What is okay? And again, having a mode of gratitude will interrupt that anxious spiral, that negativity that's in your body, and you're able to kind of reset yourself of like, okay, got it. I'm stressed about, let's say, taxes and it's super overwhelming. But at the end of the day, my taxes will get done. And I have like 1,000 things I can be grateful and happy about. And if I didn't have an abundant, amazing business, my taxes wouldn't have taken me so long. So it's like, thank you. What a amazing
Yeah.
thing. What an amazing problem to have. So it's just honor what you're feeling, process it, and then just shift it a little bit. And then if you are able to change your thoughts on it, you're immediately going to change the energy because the frequency is going to be different and you're resetting the frequency of the lower emotion that you're feeling earlier.
Oh, I'm getting it now. All right, I'm feeling good.
There you
And by the
go.
way, Tamaya Urban, just remind us of your website forms of contact if you don't mind.
Absolutely. So it's theurbanhealer.ca, CA because I'm in Canada, but I do everything virtually. So it doesn't matter where you are in the world. I do accommodate time zones. Don't worry, I got you. And then on Instagram, I'm at the urban healer. And I always have lots of giveaways. I do have a couple giveaways coming up. So check it out. Sign up for my newsletter. Stay in the know. I love giving things away because I just want you to have all the goodness and the happiness and the joy. So follow me and let's connect.
Now, if we get that moment of negativity, of
Mhm.
feeling horrible, feeling, what are some of the things we need to do to address that right away? What could help?
Well, ask yourself what made you feel that. And it's like, is it because, let's say, you've been upset with your partner for a while and then the smallest thing just sets you off, but it's because you didn't say anything earlier? Is it because you literally have bit off too much and you should have said no and you weren't respecting your time boundaries? Is it because
Mm-hmm.
you haven't eaten or drank anything in like 5 hours and you're in front of your computer and you're miserable? Maybe.
Yeah.
Have you slept enough? Have you been outside? Do you practice self-care? And it's like, I know as a business owner and a mom, like I'm not a mom, I'm separate entities.
Got it.
But
Got it.
if you you don't notice your days just go by. And if you don't take an active like break,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like it just happens. Like you're never done everything. There's always something or someone that needs you for something, another email, another something. You're never going to be done. So you have to make peace with the fact that you're not going to be done and you still need to take a break.
True.
Period. And it's like you're not like I say this all the time, but it's like you charge your phone every single night. And
Oh,
if you didn't charge your phone, you're not going to scream at the phone being like, why did you just die? There's another email that just came through. You can't die right now. That's rude. Like that does not make sense. That
no.
does not make sense. And same with your gas tank. Are you going to scream at your like car because you didn't fill it up? You
No.
are no
No.
different. It just you got to take a break. And it's like if anything, you'll be more efficient and you'll get it done with more ease and you're going to be less crusty if you take consistent breaks. It's like you just have to schedule them in and make peace with the fact that everything will not get done and that does not determine your worth or your value as a human. So it does not matter.
Got it. Now, I know we talked a little bit about the scale of emotions and
Mhm.
the levels, I should say, the energy levels. Want to discuss a few more?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So essentially, it's this the frequencies run from 0 to 1,000. And essentially, it's like this upside down cone. So if you want to think about the small tip at the bottom, is going to be a lower vibration, lower frequency, and the lowest one is shame. And we all know that if someone shames you, that feels like crap, and you feel it in your body, and it sucks. So things like guilt, grief, fear, that all don't feel good in your body. Then the ones that are higher, the highest one you can have is enlightenment, which I mean, you'd have to essentially be a Buddhist monk and have a ridiculous meditation practice. But people do sometimes get there. But then things like peace, joy, love, all of them are higher.
Yeah.
So the way that it's described is anything that is below 200 in terms of the frequency is actually unhealthy for an individual and a society as a whole. So if we all are living in shame, guilt, grief, fear, anger, like it would be a miserable place to live. Like it's not good for you. It's not good for anyone around you. It's not a good sensation and it doesn't really get
Mm-hmm.
you anywhere. You're not at your highest potential.
Okay.
Anything above 200 is more of a constructive expression of your power as well as you living your purpose. So it's like you're living what you're meant to. Like we're all meant to be happy. We're all meant to feel love and joy. And when you think about it, when you're born, like you're a happy little bundle. Like you're not scared of relationships. You don't have any money issues. You're not worried about where your next meal is going to come from. You don't like judge society or feel the necessity to wear a certain thing or not wear a certain thing according to what's good and what's not. Like you're just like happy. You're just like, life is great. This is great. And then all of a sudden, as we grow and our brain develops, we pick up certain beliefs because of our own experiences, what our caretakers have taught us, what we pick up in the media. And then suddenly we skew our view and we get more scared. And then we have bad experiences, quotations, and then maybe we don't know how to actually process them. And then we start forming these stories that everything's bad, everything's unsafe, and we slowly start vibrating lower. So it's like almost like we start off like pure, untainted, and we kind of get tainted. And then we work our way through our like life to kind of untangle from what's not real and what's not important to get ourselves back to what is the purpose: peace, love, joy, enlightenment. So it's kind of funny that we like start there, kind of lose it, and then the rest of our life is us trying to get back there.
Ooh, oh,
So it's like
ooh,
how
ooh.
to get there faster.
I love it. Like I use the term Debbie Downer though. My mom was a Debbie Downer when she was alive,
Mhm.
and her energy, it would always affect us. We would always just be, everyone rolls their eyes when she came around because it was everything negative and it just drained everyone. Mm,
Yeah.
mm,
Yeah.
mm.
Yeah. And that's why it's important for you to really check how you're showing up, but also check who you're like hanging out with. And I know that's tricky when it comes to family and
Family.
it
Oh
comes
yeah.
to, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, like, that's awkward. Get it. Also, like with your work, I mean, it's better. Most people work remotely or have an option at least, but it's like we all have coworkers that you're like, oh, good God, please don't run into you. Don't ask me any questions. I don't want to talk to you. But then you do want to think about it. It's like, especially people who are sensitive, who are quotations emotional, who are empaths, who are highly sensitive people. That is like an actual label people have, and that's not a bad thing. But then it's like you could be having a good day and you run into that Debbie Downer, and boom, your energy and your mood drops because they're vibrating so low. They've literally like sucked all the energy out of you. And you're like, oh, life does suck.
Yep.
Cue rain cloud. But then the same way, if you have a friend that you absolutely adore who's just so
Mm.
easy go lucky and they're always looking at like the silver lining, everything's great, you get a boost of energy because they're vibrating so high that you like actually feel it, and then you take that in as well.
Suck it all in. Yep. Mm-hmm.
There you go.
That's it.
Sending it to you. Sending
All
it to
right.
you.
So, what can you do to really work with the concept of this all?
Absolutely. So, one, you need to know that your emotion has executive power over your brain and it will always win. So, you really need to choose your thoughts carefully and make sure that your thoughts are going to be elevating, not going to bring you back down. Same with your beliefs. And just know that you can really shift how you experience the world by changing how you view the world. What is your perception? What are your beliefs in terms of how life is? So, then again, you have to recognize when you're having those emotions, and it's like, I'm so guilty of this. I'll be like kind of anxious. And then all of a sudden I'm like, it exploded and I'm like an anxious spiral. And I was like, oh my God, we're just okay. So if I check in with myself regularly, you can catch it as opposed to when you're already spiraling and you're like a hot mess crying, which side note,
True.
no judgment. We all need to do
True.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Then I like identify how that makes you feel. Anxiety will come up in different ways for different people. Some people have like nausea, they might have a heart racing, their mind might be racing. Everyone has a different sensation and a way of like it to manifest. So just
Mm-hmm.
know what it is, label it, notice the sensations because you're not just mind, you're not just energy, you're also this physical thing.
Yep.
So notice what you're seeing, and then start engaging in more empowering thoughts and questions. And it's like I always say, like when you're upset about something, what are the facts? Is that a fact? It's like if you're in an argument with your partner, did he say that? Did that happen? Or are you making assumptions? And are you like building a story? Or are you just like jumping to conclusions? So, what are your facts? Check in with that. And then just step out of that vicious cycle of stress and be in the
Hmm.
present moment. So, again, that's going to be shifting your energy by doing things like Reiki, working with a coach, moving your body, do things very consistently to check in with the energy and move that extra energy. But then also stay in the present moment with things like gratitude. So, it's like having a crap day. Okay, but what is good? Oh, I'm about to have a latte with my best friend and I'm so excited and it's sunny. Amazing. Those are things to be happy about. So, baby steps, these are like big things to work through that people work through for the rest of their lives. And it's not a like you never get there, but you need to have different tools to navigate this because we weren't taught these tools as children. Like we're just kids that are taller and now we have credit cards. That's it. But we're really just kids. Like, we still have tantrums. Let's be real.
Yeah.
So be compassionate with the experience and know that there's ups and downs and that's just humans humaning and that is okay.
Got it. Step out of that vicious cycle of stress and step into the power to find your true happiness and be happy, right? Because
there you go.
it's like that song, I want you to be happier, Marshmallow. You know that song?
Yeah.
I've been thinking, I want you to be happier. That's it. That's it. We want to be happier.
I agree. I love how you have like a song for anything.
Everything. It just pops up, and half the time I don't say it because it's like embarrassing. It's annoying, but
no, I love it.
It just goes right to it all the time.
Like even if you're like, "What's your favorite song?" I'm like, I know no song titles ever. Like it just like blank, nothing. I don't know. I like everything. I don't like anything. I'm not sure. So that's hilarious.
All right, we still got a few minutes left, Timea. So what else did you want to share about our conversation today, about what you do?
Yes. So I do want to mention that I have a couple group coaching opportunities coming up. So throughout the summer, I decided to do an open enrollment. So whether you want to come to one session or you want to come to all 8, it's totally up to you. It's starting May the 12th, and you can always catch the replays as well. So the new thing that I do is I open up the Akashic Records because it's like a super energetically healing sacred space, and it just supercharges whatever other healing we do. I move you through a meditation, a hypnosis session, always determined by a different topic. So we're always working on something very specific. And then at the very end, you get Reiki. And it's such a powerful, powerful way of shifting both your mind from like a neurophysiological perspective, but also from a beliefs perspective, also from an energetic perspective. So it's like, are you sciencey? Are you woo? I got something for both of you. And I love it. This is the 3rd time I'm doing this program. I've just tweaked it a little bit. And it's like people keep coming back because they're like, that was really powerful. Like I'm actually seeing massive changes. And that was one of my big things of I wanted to make sure this is open and that it's always recorded so you can re-listen to that. So if you are somebody that struggles with confidence or self-worth, re-listen to that one over and over and over again until you fully rewire your mind. And it's like, that's where it comes like down to you have to be consistent. You can't go to a Reiki practitioner once a year and then be like, I'm healed. Sure, it'll be very helpful, but like, I'll just be honest. It's like, you can't go to the gym once. You can't eat McDonald's every day and then have a kale salad on a Monday. Like, no judgment, you do you. But it's like, you also have to check yourself. Like, what kind of result do you want? Do you want to kind of sort of maybe a result or do you actually want a result? So up to you. You can come to one session, you can come to all of them. And if you want to actually like super duper deep dive, then you can also work with me one-on-one because that's where I can pick up your energy. I can pick up those little beliefs that you might not even notice that you have, but you're repeating them and really rip them from the root and start from scratch so you can actually have a life of joy, have a life of love, have a life of all that abundance and feel good doing it.
Thank you. Thank you so
much. You're welcome.
So how can we reach you, darling?
Yes. So it's the urbanhealer.ca. There is a contact button there for you. You can also send me a DM on Instagram, _urban_healer. And if you do really want to send me an email, you can do hello@theurbanhealer.ca. So all the ways, find me.
Perfect. Thank you. Have a great weekend as well. I can't believe it's Friday already. My goodness.
I know. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. I'm glad we're here today. And thank you for kicking us off into the weekend. Think positivity, increase those vibrations, emotions, positive. Got it. All right.
There you go. Great. Thank you. Take care. Bye.
Can't wait to see what you have next week on the couch.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.